Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about the trailer that came out for Sandman on Netflix. If you haven't seen it already, I'll include a link to it in the description down below, but it's really more just a date announcement video, but it gives us a little more insight into the show, gives us a little peek into the story, unless you've read the comic or read too much about it. I've only read the tiniest things about the Sandman years and years ago, so I'm kind of going into this series knowing nothing because I've never read any of the graphic novel or the comics. Obviously I've watched a lot of stuff that Neil Gaiman has written that ended up getting adapted, like Good Omens, American Gods, Lucifer, even though that kind of fits in the vein of this, but obviously the show Lucifer kind of went and did its own thing. But I like because we had gotten a previous look before, but it was like the scene where Dream gets captured. We had that previously, and that's all we had really to go on. I think there was obviously recently extra footage, I think before Geek Week started, that had Gwendolyn as Lucifer. But I think that's about it. But this kind of gave you an interesting insight into the fact is that my understanding is Dream was captured by a cult, and God knows how long he was locked up for, because by the time he returns to his realm, well, I'm calling him Dream just because I'm like, I probably prefer that name amongst the Sandman or Morpheus. I think Dream I like the best. But he was locked up for so long, by the time he comes back to his realm, it's been so long that it's decayed. So either time moves so differently, or he was held captured for so long that this cult or whatever helped him capture generation after generation. Because it seems like it's some random cops that came across like the hourglass that he was sealed away in and busted it open. So it like they just happened to be there, or maybe Dream was able to slip some stuff through, like his powers through. Because it seems like the fact that he's locked away this entire time, it doesn't seem like he was able to get out. But the visuals alone just look stunning, and I'm just, once again, this is the thing I'm probably been looking forward to the most since it was like announced a while back. But it seems like the main crux, at least what we're getting shown in this date announcement, because I know the whole thing about Dream and the expansiveness that is the Sandman story. I think it is told over so much periods of time, but it's also like crosses so many realms. So the fact is that his kingdom's in decay, like this dream realm, and the nightmares, and I think he says a line of basically, oh, the nightmares have, like, you know, gone off while I was away, and they forgot who their master was. So while the king was away, essentially, metaphorically, kids came out to play, essentially. And I think, so I wonder, like, is this, it almost feels like there's almost like this Pandora box element to it of like, yeah, they escaped and they're out there doing their own thing. I'm assuming the final person that's like, oh wow, he escaped his cage. I wonder if that's, because we saw like at least 3 other people, which I'm assuming those are the said nightmares. I wonder, are they all like categorized as nightmares, or do they each represent different things of nightmares? Like, oh, this one could be sad nightmares, this one could be terror nightmares, like, just, you know, what's kind of spitballing. Once again, it's not a long trailer, but it's still a nice touch to know. It's like, right, giving us kind of a taste of what we can expect. Once again, it probably won't be the full scope of the story, but maybe like this first chunk of the arc might be about bringing those nightmares. We see maybe 3 or 4. I would assume the final guy either, like I said, is one of those escaped nightmares, and they've probably been causing a whole bunch of havoc in his wake. Maybe the world's fallen into these nightmares. Like, maybe the world wasn't, you know, very much like a, oh man, a lot of the evil in the world wouldn't have gotten out if Pandora hadn't opened said box. So maybe it's kind of a similar thing of they've escaped the metaphorical, well, probably not metaphorical, literal prison, and that in turn like unleashed a lot of nightmares upon the world. Like, a lot of terrible stuff that the world's had to deal with is because of Dream's absence and all that time. Granted, like, people, the cult, no, I mean, maybe it's just people coming across the occult, but the fact is they were able to lock Dream up. There's so many questions I have about it. I've heard nothing but great things about the, you know, mainly great things about, like, oh my god, like, if you've never read the Sandman, you need to, like, pick it up if you get the opportunity to. So, but once again, like I said, this is my first time really getting to experience this story. So what I've seen so far, like I said, the ideas behind it, the little I know, and the crossing of different realms, and the characters that are going to be involved, like Lucifer, it's definitely going to be really dope, and like I said, just visually it looks stunning. So I'm very, very excited to ultimately see where this goes. I'm excited to get more eventually. I mean, it's actually a lot closer around the corner than I was expecting it to be. Was August 5th, so probably won't be until like probably late July, probably 2 weeks out before we get like a full trailer. But I'm very excited, just along with what we got, and just, you know, kind of want to share my thoughts about it a little bit. Obviously, like I said, these are my thoughts. I'd love to get to know yours in the comments down below. Once again, it's not a lot, but from what we've seen, are you excited? Are you not excited? Especially let me know if you're someone who's read the graphic novel. If you're like me, like if you haven't read it either, also let me know. I'd love to know both sides of people who've read it and who haven't read it, like how this little taste of the Sandman, like, you know, sits with people. But really, that's all I'm going to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.